Hey everyone, it's me, I'm back. We're going to work on the next daily pattern, which is this one called Bows. I myself would not consider this a Zentangle pattern because it's too representational. However, looks like it's going to be a fun pattern to draw, excuse me. Looks like we start with some rectangular shapes. We add this sort of a swoopy, sort of a dog bone. It looks a lot like a dog bone there before you add the little fringe things. Add the little fringe things and then hook them together so you can add this part at the top that connects them all. So we'll see what I come up with. This must be a variation here at this. Oh, I see. You do this one and then you do this one, and this one's not quite finished and it comes up and it hooks to that one. But that's not how they did it here in their sample. So we'll piddle with it and play with it and see what I come up with. I think I may do one big one kind of here in the middle, and then do some around the edge. I'm gonna make my string sort of circular like that and see what I come up with. So let's just do one in the middle. I'm going to do a rectangle and then kind of a whoop-de-doop and a whoop-de-doop, and then coming this way is like that, and coming this way is like that. I'm just going to put one big one right in the middle like that, and then around the edges I'm going to connect some. So if I'm going to connect them, probably be best if I have even numbers of them, perhaps. So let's do one. I'm going to kind of measure them out a little bit. 2 on each side, like so. I'll put those. That will be my middles. Except for I think I need to be a little bit further away from the edge. So I actually want to be more down here. I don't usually plan out my tiles like this, but since this is a more representational pattern, I'm going to go ahead and plan them out a little bit more. I'm going to make the marks where I want my middles. About like that, and I'm going to erase, yes, erase, because since this tile is not purely Zentangle, I'm going to go ahead and erase the marks that I don't want. Okay, that will help me figure this out a little bit. Okay, so on each one of these marks, I'm going to put this little rectangle. And I'm going to just go around and start with that. That one was more square, but that's alright. Okay. And then I'm going to do the little swoop-de-doops. Swoop-de-doop. And swoop-de-doop. Make little dog bones. Swoop-de-doop. And swoop-de-doop. Sort of heart-shaped, but not really. Just dog bones. That's how I see them. And I feel like they're just kind of asking me before I continue on with the next step, I want to aura these. I feel like that's what they need. So I'm going to do that. They need a little bulk. See them? So I want to do that first before I lose that connection. Make them a little bit more organic. Overlap if I have to. Well, it's going to be another scorcher here today. We're going to be well into the 100s, very low humidity, probably down into the single digits, under 10% humidity, and there's a significant, well, huge brush fire burning, started yesterday, practically in my backyard. We're not in any danger here. It's about 20 miles away. However, it has burned, at the last I looked, like 30,000 acres. That's crazy. That's like 40 square miles or some such thing. Lots of house destruction, lots of outbuildings and barns, and who knows, train track going through the pass is going to need some significant repair. The power lines are down. It's just awful. You know, I think I'm going to do this aura on this as well. Anyway, so I'm a little distracted with that. Lots of stuff going on. Do I want to aura that? It just feels like those are now too small. I'm also going to aura this. Before I get any further, because I know these bows are going to kind of overlap into there, and I want this one to be the right proportions. So that looks better to me. So we'll try that, and then we can embellish as it comes. Yeah, so I imagine that when I get to work there will be a lot going on, because where I work is closer to the fire, and the local recreation center is like right down the street from us, and that's an evacuation center. So I imagine that we will be quite busy today. I do like that. And I don't know if I want to aura those. Those are fine. Oh, I didn't connect the two. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so we're going to do one like this, and then we're going to do one. I'm not sure I like them connected down there like that. No, I don't want to do that. I will, however, make them all different lengths. Because that's how I would do it if I was actually tying a bow on a package. It would be different lengths, and they would be kind of curly, going different oddball directions. As far as I know, there have been no loss of life in this fire. which is good. We're very thankful for that. Thankful for the firefighters who are working so hard to try to save some of the homes. There have been many homes destroyed. We don't know how many homes yet because, hundreds of outbuildings and structures have been destroyed, but they're not sure which ones are homes and which ones are barns or other garages or other outbuildings. So at the moment, they don't have a count on how many homes are destroyed, but just devastating. That's our biggest fear. People ask me sometimes, gosh, you live in California, what about earthquakes? Earthquake to me is not my biggest fear. Earthquake doesn't happen all the time. That's a rare occasion, especially a big one. But fire, we are in danger of fire, like I would say 7 months out of the year that there's a high fire danger. Maybe it's not that many, maybe it's only 5 or 6, but that's a lot of time to be worried about fire. And even though I don't live up in the mountains where fire danger is the greatest, I know people who do, so it's just scary. Okay, so that's the basic pattern of this one, which is once again called just bows. I'll do a little embellishment, but that's pretty much it. I'm going to sign it. And I'm going to put the name of it. And we'll just do, I think some of them will put some polka dots, maybe. I like that. Polka dots is cute. So yeah, I'm much less afraid of earthquakes than I am of fire. We do have an evacuation plan in mind. What things, we have a list of what things we would gather up if we were to ever be evacuated. And when you have to think about what you would put in your car, what would fit, and what you could actually physically take with you with, like, say, a 10-minute evacuation notice, and you start actually thinking about the most important things in your life, it's quite sobering. It's, yeah. Pictures are on the top of my list. My computer's on the top of my list. Documents, top of my list. Other than that, the rest of the house is just stuff. It would be sad to lose it. Horrible to think about. But if I left with my family intact, back when we had pets, we had, the pet plan. That's the most important. It really is. Alright. I like my dots. I think I'm gonna go with the theme here. Big polka dots on my big one. And I think I want lines. Not quite done. It's not telling me it's ready yet. So the rest of this is just going to be some embellishments, nothing fancy. Just kind of popping in here with some lines and some dots and a little bit of shading. This one might tell me it wants to be colored, I don't know. Actually, I think it is. It's telling me it wants to be colored. I think I'm going to put the stripe here on the bow. And then I think I need to erase my pencil lines because it's distracting me. And then I can think what I want to do with it here. But I do think this one's probably telling me it wants to be colored. And that's probably because it's representational. To me, the ones that are more representational of objects, you know, the ones that look like flowers, look like plants, look like bows, look like something, they tend to me to want to be colored. And I think that just has to do with, you know, wanting it to look more like a photo or a picture of something. I think that's more what it is. I'm just going to grab a couple of pencils here and use my new handy dandy pencil sharpener. Give me a nice point on there. And I'm just going to give it some color. So now that I've told you about my greatest fear of fires, where do you guys all live? What is your natural disaster that you worry most about in your neck of the woods? Right now I know that there's a huge amount of flooding in parts of the United States. That's also quite a concern. We don't have that here in dry Southern California, at least not often. If it ever would rain any significance, it would cause quite the flood, only because our ground is so hard that we're not able to absorb the water. It would just run right off. It would be more like flash floods than the standing floods that are happening. It would be more like it would just rush down. The water would just come and rush down and then disappear quickly. It wouldn't stay around very long. Let's see. What do I want to do? Decide how I want to color these. Just a little bit. I don't want a lot. I think I want a lighter blue. This one. Dropping things. Sorry, folks. I gave myself a little point on this. Oops. Maybe. The wonders of videography. When something doesn't go quite the way you planned. Hadn't planned on having a broken pencil. What do you think, guys? What other color should I put on here to contrast with my blues? Kind of feeling yellow and pink. That's where I'm aiming, but I haven't decided yet. I want to leave some of that white to do like highlights. And I may come back with another color and blend that, like that blue. Matter of fact, I think I will. What will go with that? Let me think while I'm... maybe the pink. That'll make a nice kind of a purpley color. And blend that out really cool, I think. It's a very girly tile I'm making here. Makes me think of, I know if I'd made it reds, pinks, more pinks than reds, it would remind me of Minnie Mouse bow. Reminds me of my little niece. She's started kindergarten today. Her favorite character is Minnie Mouse. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I think I'll just put the pink right in the middle. I suppose you guys really need to watch me color, but I'm just going to continue just because that's how I started. Could have just put some shading on it and be done with it, but I didn't. It does look like it needs some sort of shading, and I am going to stop and do that, I think. I'll just make all these match for right now. And I think my outside bow is going to be graphite and not colored in. I'll put some highlights, some shadow. Got the nice pencil for highlights with some shadow. Oh, I know. I know what I'm going to do. It just came to me. Alright, that's like that. And a regular graphite pencil. I'll put a little bit right there. Right here. Okay. Spots where the bow flaps my ribbon. Okay. Alright, that's cute. I like that. You know, I think I wanna do something here. I wanna highlight this big bow in the middle. I'm just gonna put a little around the edge and smudge that. I think for some reason it's just calling for me to do that. Okay, let's try that. I thought I was done, and then I wasn't. Alright, that's better. I like that better. Alrighty, so there's bows. It's done. You guys all have a nice day.